This is perfect for the Golden State Warriors. We had high expectations for this team coming into the season, but after seeing our first piece of game action last night, I may be more hyped than ever. What's going on, everybody? I'm Houstonville. You're watching Warriors Digest. We're going to break down everything from last night. We already did in a video yesterday, specifically the box score, how everybody looked out on the court, but now we're going to take a wider look back and say, okay, here's what we have. We have our first piece of game action in the books. Now we can take a look forward and say, what does this mean for the upcoming season? How do we want guys to fill into the rotation spots? How is the starting lineup going to look roster-wise? Those are all things we're going to talk about today. Jonathan Kuminga's birthday today, so happy birthday to Jonathan Kuminga. Didn't want to miss that. Hey, the one and only Jonathan Kuminga. Now he's wearing number 1, so that's exciting. I want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button. Wanted to give that shout out to JK first off, but secondly, yeah, hit the subscribe button. It's the easiest way for you guys to support us on the channel, easiest way to never miss out on a video. So, Warriors 1-0 in the preseason. Just got a couple more games left preseason basketball-wise. Heard something last night that I've never knew before. Mike Breen said that in the 60s, they used to play 20-plus preseason games. That's absolutely ridiculous. I'm certainly happy that's not the case now. But let's take a look at not only my thoughts, but also some opinions from Twitter of Dub Nation as well. And from Warriors Muse, yeah, this is quite possibly the most important / biggest X factor for the season is the health of this team. And you see on the bottom scrolling there, Jake LaRavia. I just want to note out, he was probably the most impressive Laker last night. For LA, I was really impressed with how he played. Gabe Vincent obviously decided to shoot the lights out in the first half, struggled a bit in the second, but he's going to be a guy for sure. This is perfect timing from our browser. Al Horford on the screen, and yeah, 2-year, $11 million, gotta love it. But yeah, I thought Jake LaRavia looked really good last night. I was pretty impressed with him. He's going to be a guy with his size that I think is really going to fit well with Luka, with LeBron, in PNR. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the season. But yeah, health's going to be big for this team. And speaking of pick and roll, I think that's one of the biggest, most important factors that I saw last night. Is I was very impressed with the starting unit's ability to defend the pick and roll. With Trayce Jackson-Davis in the game, with Pat Spencer, those types of guys, didn't look great. I think there was like 3 possessions a row where Dalton Connect threw lobs to Jackson Hayes. I was like, guys, defend it. What are we doing? But from the starting unit, I think we have such a switchability with the starting unit on the floor that I think that's going to be a dangerous thing, which is why I think it's so perfect for this team. And it's the reason that I think Al works so well alongside the other guys on the roster. I also mentioned Pat Spencer, Gary, those types of guys, wondering where the other guys' minutes are going to come from Melton and Seth Curry. And I would imagine that the Seth Curry minutes would fill in for the Pat Spencer minutes, because I still think he's a little bit of a liability defensively, and the shooting just quite isn't there where you'd want it to be for Pat Spencer. So I would imagine that the Seth Curry minutes would probably fill in for Pat Spencer. And then DeAnthony Melton's, I think everybody else will still play, but I think DeAnthony Melton will probably either be first off the bench or start, and we'll get to Moses Moody and that starting role in just a second as well. But yeah, this is what he brings to the table: 3-4 and 3-3. And just this was like after, I think, just 7 or 8 minutes of game action for Al Horford. Knocked down a 3-ball. The rebounds are there. The assists are there. The blocks are certainly there. That's going to be the biggest thing for Al Horford. We know that he's going to be an offensive. Have offensive abilities that are going to be big for us. Not only the stretching the floor, the shooting the 3-ball well, but also the passing, the IQ. He fits so well with the flow of the game, specifically from a Warriors perspective. But defensively, how much of an X factor can he be at his age? And we talked about this a little bit last night, but I do think he looked as spry, as juiced up to play the game last night as he did at any point over the last 20 years. I thought defensively he looked in perfect position in almost every single possession last night that he was on the floor. I thought he looked quick. I thought he looked decisive. And backing up Draymond is just going to be, it's just going to be huge all season long. And I just can't wait to see how those guys play together. That defensive backcourt is going to be fantastic. And that's the number one thing that I think is perfect already heading into the season. I already think those two guys have it locked down. Unspoken chemistry, Steph said, that will only get better. And that's the thing, is last night, it already looked really good. There was a give and go between Steph and Al that looked fantastic. Just a couple of minutes once Al Horford checked in to the game, and it was just so smooth. Quick pass to the corner. Steph's motion gets Dalton Connect a little confused, cuts not back, well, sort of backdoor, but off of the wing, slips through. Al Horford passes it to him, reverse layup and one for Steph. It already looks good after just a few days of training camp together. So imagine what, a quarter, a half a season, a whole season is going to look like heading into the playoffs. I think it's going to continue to improve, and these guys are going to be at a really good point heading into the postseason once that does arrive. Kuminga, I was really impressed with, as we talked about. But yes, I agree. Kuminga rebounding the basketball. If that is something that he can do, I mean, he'll probably get close to 25 to 30 minutes a game with this team. Obviously a little bit less last night because preseason we want to keep guys healthy, things like that. But 15 minutes, ultimately, if Jonathan Kuminga can be rebounding the ball have 6 boards through 15 minutes, he's looking at going to be averaging a double-double at that point. So if he can be that guy where he goes, hey, I'm going to create a legitimate commitment to rebounding the basketball and trying to get 8 or 9 boards a game, then I think we're going to be in a very, very good position, and his minutes are going to boost significantly because those are the areas of the game where he's struggled in the past. Again, we talked about it yesterday, but if he can, be concentrated on the floor and be committed to doing all of the little things. There was a play last night, perfectly sitting in help defense. The cutter comes in, goes up for a shot. Johnny, help defense, perfect, swats the ball away. We're in transition, and we get a dunk. And I just think those are the opportunities for JK to prove, hey, it's not going to be all about the scoring. I understand there are other things, intangibles, fundamentals on the basketball floor that I'm going to need to be able to do. And I'm confident after seeing yesterday the buy-in that Johnny has for the upcoming year, and I hope that he proves me right. Moody looked fantastic. We said he was the star of the show yesterday. He was easily the most impressive Warrior on the floor. Could be a better point of attack defender, and I agree with that. I do think he's a fantastic. I don't know specifically if they're talking offensively here or defensively here. Is 27 world, I guess you could say. But defensively, I've been really impressed with Moody throughout his entire career. But I do think from a point of attack defending standpoint, quickness is something that he could continue to improve upon, which is something that it seemed like he really was a point of emphasis for him throughout the offseason. And I thought it looked fantastic yesterday. Not that Bronny James is the standard, but Bronny James looked absolutely, kerfuffled all last night when Moses Moody was guarding him. Kuminga as well. Whenever those guys were on him, if they can create a swarming atmosphere defensively where we're throwing a lot of switches, we're throwing a lot of double teams, the hedges are good with Al and Dre, I think that Moody can have a really big defensive year this year. But then also, if he's shooting 40% from 3, also, the whole point of this is that Moody could play amazing, and Pods could still be starting. Like that's initially here. He's not talking about, offensively or defensively from a point of attack standpoint. He's saying, even if Moody was a better point of attack defender, shoot 40% from 3 and average consistent 10 points, Pods would still be starting because Steve Kerr seems to have such an affection for Brandin Podziemski, which I understand. But regardless. Let's look at these first 3 things from it, if he could do this perspective, and then we'll get to the joking side of it. If Moody could be a better point of attack defender, right, shoot 40% from 3 and average consistent 10 points, he will be a starter. I'm confident because we saw it last season in the way that this team was playing together. So I would imagine that Moody will be starting. Pods obviously got a lot of starts last year, came off the bench and did a couple things well as well, but I do understand this. Again, I'm a Steve Kerr defender, but I know a lot of people think that regardless of how Moody plays, Pods is going to still start over him. I think that'll be proved to be false as we move farther in this season, but hey, I've been proven wrong before, so we will see. And then, looking once more at the box score from last night. If you didn't get a chance to look at it yesterday, go watch the highlights as well. Lots of exciting things to be pumped up about from this team. Again, biggest wins, Moses Moody, Al Horford, Kuminga, all those guys did exactly what they needed to do. Steph still looks good entering year 17. And the rest of the guys will fill out as well. But the thing I'm most excited about, and the reason that this video is being made, is the perfection that I truly think has the chance to be incredible this season, which is Draymond and Al Horford's defensive presence. I think when we were playing the best basketball last season was when defensively our numbers were at the top of every category. I think that defense to offense is such a massive thing for this Warriors team because we do play so fast. And there were reports, Steve Kerr coming out and saying, hey, we're going to play through Jimmy a little bit more, so it might have a little bit of a slower attack. That doesn't mean transition basketball can't be a part of this team's DNA. And I think it will be. And I think that will be a result and a byproduct of Draymond and Al Horford being so having such a presence underneath. In the past, once you've got past Draymond, once you've moved into the lane a little bit, it's been so free and empty because we haven't had that large rim defender. Looney's done his best at times when he was here. Hope he does well in New Orleans, by the way. But now that you have Al Horford in there, there's such a second line of defense that we just haven't had since even like the Andrew Bogut days. And the Warriors honestly have never really had a big like Al Horford throughout all of Steph's tenure, Dre's career, even the Clay years. Like we haven't had a guy like him. We've typically tried to play small ball. Obviously, you've had the JaVale McGee's, the Zaza Pachulias, the Maurice Spateses, the DeMarcus Cousins of the world. But we haven't really had a guy that's been like, okay, Al Horford is going to be a defensive menace. He's going to shoot the three ball well, and he's going to contribute in other ways on the basketball floor. And that's why I'm so excited for this team. That's why I'm so excited for the potential of what this year can be. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, specifically revolving Moody, Podziemski. The best numbers that we had last year, I think we had like a 32-5 record or something. That might be a little hyperbolic, but when it was Steph, Pods, Moody, and Draymond, and then so Steph, Moody, Podziemski, Draymond. Who am I missing? Steph, Moody, Dre, Podziemski, somebody else. Hold up, I'm drawing a blank here. Oh, and then Jimmy, obviously. So not that many games. It wasn't 32-5, but there was we were fantastic when the starting five of tonight's game was the starting lineup, and so that's I think. Listen, I don't want to be a small ball team all the time. I don't want Draymond to have to play heavy minutes at the center all the time, and Steve Kerr said he won't. But I do understand if that's a winning unit, run with the winning unit. So we'll see how that continues to develop as the season goes on. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit the subscribe button. Let's try to get to 14,000 within the end of the week. And then, hey, maybe we can shoot for 15 before the beginning of the season. We need another 1,000 subscribers. But based on the viewership that we have, that's definitely a goal that we can meet. So let's try and get to it. I've been Houston Bo. You guys have been the fans. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, go Dubs. Peace.